Hey guys, George here from the Fishing Random Places YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a little comparison review of, in my opinion, the two most common fishing kayaks that are out there. One being on the right, the Bass Pro Shops Ascend 12T, which I've been fishing out of for about the past year. And on the left here we have the Perception Outlaw 11.5, which I literally just picked up 2 days ago. Haven't even put it in the water yet. Today you're gonna get my very first impressions, and we'll get it out on the pond here and see how it paddles and see how it fishes and everything. So let's start off with the Ascend 12T. I'll go over some things that I like about it and some things that I don't like about it. First off, let's start with just with some little things. You get this little paddle holder here. It actually works really well. It doesn't look like it would, but fits your paddle perfectly. And that's something that gets overlooked a lot. Having a place to put your paddle is always really nice. You get these bungees up here. I don't use them. The only thing that I use them for is if I'm standing up to fish, I'll put my paddle in there like that, just to have a place to set it down. Next thing I like about it is you get this. I really don't use this hatch much. I've been borrowing this kayak from my buddy Ryan for the past year, and he had a fish finder hooked up right here. That's what this little mount's for. But you also get this little dry hatch, which I actually do like. I actually use this quite a bit. I'll put my phone and my wallet and my keys in here. I wouldn't say that it's 100% waterproof, but I don't think I'd be losing them if I flipped this kayak. Unless I lost the entire kayak by itself, I think my phone and my wallet would be okay. Second thing that I like about it is that it is pretty stable. I stand up and fish in this thing all the time. Land, fish, cast, everything. It's for me, it's fine. I'm about 5'6", 170 pounds. Have pretty good balance, I'd say. Pretty good sea legs. I personally think it's pretty stable. So I guess now we can talk about a couple things that I don't like. One being the paddleability of this kayak is, it's a barge to paddle. In my opinion, it doesn't track straight. It always wants to drift to the right or left when you stop paddling. And it takes a lot to get this thing going. I use this on really small lakes around my house, and it's perfect for that. So the second thing I don't like about this kayak, I would say, is the seat. One being that it's really difficult to get it on and off. It has these like square bolts that fit into this groove, and then it gives you like these three different placements for this bar under the seat, and you can kind of slide it back and forth. But if you ever completely remove this seat, I've found that it's really hard to get it lined up, get these square bolts lined up to where it will go back in. So that's kind of a hassle. It's not something that would prevent me from buying this kayak, but it's just something to think about. Second thing about the seat is that it is not very comfortable. If you're in this thing for more than an hour, you will definitely start to feel it. This seat will kill your lower back. That could just be me and how I have my feet placed on the kayak. I don't know, but that's my opinion on the seat. So I guess that's all I really have to say about the Ascend. I think you can get these at Bass Pro for between $700 and $800. It's a great kayak for what it is. It paddles well enough, and it's super stable. I wouldn't hesitate to buy this kayak. Okay, so moving on to the Perception Outlaw. Give you guys a shot of what these look like side by side. Outlaw definitely looks a bit wider, and the seat, you can tell, is a lot higher, which is probably going to make it a lot more comfortable when you're sitting for a long time, but it could affect the paddling. But we're going to find out here in a minute. One thing I did buy for the seat for the Ascend, which I have on the Outlaw now, is a kayak cushion, and I 100% recommend one of those. It's definitely a game changer as far as comfortability goes. And so purple would not have been my first choice, but Dick's Sporting Goods was having a flash sale on these things. I got this kayak for $650. I think they're usually around $950, $1,000. So I couldn't pass it up, and purple was the only one they had left. So I just jumped on it, and it's actually kind of grown on me. So with the Perception Outlaw, you get 4 flush mount rod holders in the back. Looks like we have a square stern here that would probably accept maybe a power pole or a Newport trolling motor. You get these 2 side rails here to mount accessories. This is called a Yak Attack Sidewinder. It's just it's an anchor line management system. I find that it works pretty good, and it's a lot cheaper than the Anchor Wizard. So first impressions, just taking it out of the box, I found that the handles on this thing are super nice. They make it feel a lot lighter than it is, makes it really easy to move it around. I'm probably gonna end up getting a cart for this kayak down the road, but for now it's light enough to where I can get it in the back of my truck, no problem. All right guys, well I guess that's about all I have to say about these 2 kayaks. I'm gonna go ahead and put this Perception Outlaw in the water, and we'll see how it paddles. All right guys, so here we are in the Perception Outlaw. First thing I'll say about it, it is crazy comfortable. The seat position is awesome. Just first impressions, paddling, I can tell this thing is gonna be a barge to paddle. It does not, it barely turns. You gotta put some effort into it to turn it around. But the seating position is so comfortable. Let's take a little paddle around the pond and see how it is. Stand up here. Well, it's definitely stable. Wouldn't say that I'm like blown away by the stability. It's about what I expected. It is more stable. I wouldn't say it's more stable, but it's more comfortable to stand in than the Ascend is. Also notice that the deck is kind of flexy when you're standing here. Not that big of a deal, but just something I noticed. Let's sit back down. Let's paddle around a little bit. Yeah, you're not gonna go anywhere fast in this thing. So I'd say you're definitely gonna wanna have an anchor with this kayak because it's gonna take a lot of effort to get where you're going. And if it's a windy day, you're not gonna be wanting to fight wind in this thing. So one thing I forgot to mention is you don't get a paddle holder in this kayak, but you do get this little paddle park deal here in your storage cover. And then you could also stick your paddle in the handle like that, which probably not ideal, but better than nothing. Let's make a couple casts. Be cool if we could catch a fish. Another thing I like about this kayak, guys, is that, as I was mentioning before, I'm not a fan of having all my rods sticking straight up in the air with the flush mount rod holders they give you on most kayaks. But with this one, you can stick the butt of your rods here and then just lay them right in front of you. Just kind of gives you a nice little place to put them. Another thing is you get a lot of underseat storage with this kayak. So, I mean, you could store your Plano boxes. So guys, I recently picked up a like a tube assortment box. I've never fished with a tube before. I thought they looked kind of cool. Check out the action on these things. Hopefully you guys can see that. Kind of like darts around almost like a jerkbait. Not really sure what it's supposed to mimic, but I don't know, it looks cool. I think people mostly use these for smallmouth river fishing. But I've been trying it out a lot. Caught a couple fish on it. Not gonna say it's my new favorite lure, but it's been fun to try. Okay guys, so that was my first impressions of the Perception Outlaw. What I'll say about it is I love the wide open deck. I love being able to just lay my rods in front of me and have them right there ready to go. I love the seating position. The seat is crazy comfortable. I really like that I'll be able to put my Plano boxes under my seat. Everything's just right there where you need it to be. Personally, don't ever really have anything in my back storage area here. Maybe if I'm gonna be fishing for a long time, I might bring a cooler, but that's pretty rare. I've got some pretty big ideas for this kayak. I'm thinking bow mount trolling motor, just kind of turn it into a little mini one-person John boat type deal. So at the end of the day, I would say you can't really go wrong with either of these kayaks. The Ascend 100% paddles better than the Outlaw, but I expected that. If you're going to be paddling longer distances, I would definitely recommend the Ascend. But definitely 100% get that kayak cushion, like I said. I don't think you'd be disappointed with this kayak. With the Perception Outlaw, it's a beast to paddle. That's just my first impressions. I could change my mind down the road. But like I said, I'm planning on eventually doing a trolling motor on this guy. Probably won't be paddling it too much. If you found this video to be useful in any way, please feel free to subscribe and drop me a like. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.